Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Walking This Way's Impact Voice Podcast. I'm your host, Furman Jackson Jr., broadcasting live from my new hometown, the city of Arlington, Texas, outside of Dallas, Texas. And I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, being with us on this lovely Tuesday afternoon. I want to thank everybody for just you being unique, you being iconic, you being great into the things that you want to accomplish in life, the goals you already set for yourself for this upcoming year on. And I just want to thank everybody for you just celebrating you on today. And I just
Hello.
want to thank everybody on today.
I
And
hear you.
also I want to, can you hear me?
Can you hear
Can you hear
me?
me?
I can't hear you.
I can hear you loud and clear. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hear anything?
I can hear you. Hold on.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah,
You
can
can
you
you
hear
hear
me
me?
now? I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. Hey, I want to thank you
I can
to
hear you
being.
moving. I'm like, what is he saying?
I do thank you for taking time out to be schedule to be part of the podcast here on this afternoon here in the States. I know it's 12 here in the United States. I know it's 6 that evening in
6 p.m.
tongue tied. And that's so it was a big time difference between us. But I do thank you for taking time out for being part of the podcast here this evening slash afternoon, however you want to call it. So I do thank you once again for taking time to be schedule.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And I appreciate it. And so introduce yourself to the audience. Let them know who you are, what you do, and things of that nature.
Okay, so I'm Julia Hunter. I'm a mom. I'm a competitive bodybuilder. I'm a coach, online coach on fitness and health. I'm a sister. I'm a child of God. I'm a friend. I'm a giver. I'm a helper. All that stuff I just like to help inspire people and to be the best self.
And that's good all by itself and things of that. And I know you are into being take care of yourself, being healthy. And I've seen your videos on Instagram, your pictures that you put out, and it's very inspiring and very inspirational to myself and many others to be able to take care of themselves more and more, especially with COVID-19, all this that's taking place in our world. But being a woman like you, take care of yourself, striving for a better lifestyle. How did it all come about?
It started, I was an athlete at school. So I did long distance running at school and I just always been competitive. I like to work out. I did lots of running. And as time goes on, by the time I had my first child, I liked the way my body changed, but I also had this vision. I did not want to blame the child for me looking a certain way. So I insisted I didn't want to lose my identity. So I refused to be kind of like, I am somebody's mom. So I'm Julia who happened to have a child. That was always my thing. So when I had my daughter, then I got more into working out into group exercises. But with that, I did not like how my body was going for me. It's when I was getting injured and all of that stuff. So that's where it started. So I generally just started working out at home. So what I will do, I will get up in the morning before my daughter wakes up and I will actually work out. So I buy equipment, so I buy DVDs and all of that stuff and work out. So literally she grew up waking up in the morning and her first word will be, "Good morning, mommy, how was your workout?" That's basically what I'm known for. So, I wanted to have the flat tummy and everything else and wanted to enjoy the food. But this was before I had all the knowledge of what food was like to being fit and healthy. So I'll work out a lot, but I will still eat what I want. But as time goes on and I get older, I realize I'm not liking what's going on here. So at that time, I was a civil servant and a single mom, happened to be a single mom. And, fast forward to 2011, something beyond my control, I lost my job. But prior to losing my job, I wasn't feeling what I was doing, but I was scared to leave that, 9 to 5, knowing that money will come in every month. And it happened that I lost my job. And one morning, continuously working out in my home, my daughter woke up And she kind of looks at me and she goes, "Mommy, why are you wasting your talent?" And I was like, "What?" She goes, "Clearly you like working out. You're always doing it, even when you're sick." And that was like my aha moment. But fast forward to now, I'm a qualified PT nutritionist, and I coach people to be their best self. I focus mainly in women. One of the reasons why I focus more on being healthier. I lost my mom when she was only age 44. My mom never met my children. So my thing is the best gift I can give to my children is my longevity being here, fitter and healthier. And the similar thing happened 2 years ago. I lost my younger sister. She was only age 40. I stood by her graveside 6 days before her 41st birthday. And she has a 10-year-old child. So my mission is to make sure I empower women specifically to make sure that not only put into your marriage and into the children, but the best gift you can give to your family is to prevent the pain of not you being here to see the graduation, to see the wedding, to see the first boyfriend, the first girlfriend, just being there in general. And that is really my force behind what I do.
And that's important. I mean, just hear key points of that. And I know as people, we so more focused on facing the money, the material things of this world. But we forget about taking care of our bodies, taking care of ourselves, and then we cannot be able to enjoy these things if we on all these type of medications, bedridden, but we never really focus more on our physical health. Why is that?
I think because it's core belief. We brought up I wasn't brought up to take care of your health and well-being. You was brought up like you eat whatever. My mom had 6 of us as a child growing up. Food was a scarcity, so you was told that you just eat what you're given. It wasn't a case of you was nutritionally educated, and you believe that you grew up and you see one member of the family has high blood pressure or diabetes. It's just something that is in the family. There's something that happens. But as you get older, you have a choice. It's now a choice for you to look outside that perimeter and decide, is this the only choice? Is this the only way? It doesn't mean that you are actually dismissing your culture and your core and where you grew up. You're just changing the habits that doesn't serve you well for new ones.
Yeah, and I know it's more catchy now. I guess I know people now have started to be healthy. That's their goal now to be healthy. Because about a couple years ago, you weren't hearing many people talk about it. Only one that's already was living it. But now it's become a phenomenon. Now everybody's into taking care of themselves better. They into the different regimens to have a better lifestyle. And I'm all for that because we have to take care of ourselves. Even the Bible tells us that He wants us to prosper in our health. It's what our soul prospers. So being healthy is the will of God for our lives. And not too many people don't even know that. You know what I'm saying? We believe we have high blood pressure. We say, "Oh, I want you to pray for me," but not taking the necessary precautions to get off high blood pressure medication and get off all these different things that we depend on instead of just, let me start changing the way I eat and start exercising and start getting off these things. And that's another thing I want to ask too about exercising. A lot of people believe if I exercise every day, I can eat when I want, exercise, I'm good. What would you say about that?
See, that was my initial understanding of it. If I'm exercising every day, then I can eat what I want. But exercise is only 20% of what we do. What you put inside your body is 80%. Your food is your mood. So basically, what I've learned, and I think for me, what was my real aha moment, because I was going to the gym almost every day of the week, working out, and I remember there was a guy at the gym and he greeted 2 other females in a very nice feminine way, and he actually had a dumbbell in his hand, and he punched at me and hit me really hard, and he goes, "You can take it, look how thick you are, you work out all the time, what do you have in your cupboard?" And at that time I wanted the ground to open me up, and just swallowed me up. And what I checked myself, what I was doing, wasn't going to McDonald's and all the fast food place and treat myself, but I'll go home and have the good old soul food. And I was born in Jamaica, so the oxtail and the fried chicken and all of that stuff. So I'll go home. I almost burned my house down once doing that. I came from the gym and I felt so energetic, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to cook the oxtail. I literally fell asleep and almost burnt my house down. And then I realized that food is what depicts who you are. Like, you would not go to the petrol station with your Benz and put in, gasoline of a low quality in there. And you can replace the Benz. You cannot replace you. It's only one you. And like I said, my eye opener was when my mom passed away. She didn't meet my children. She was only 44. I was only 24. So I've lived most of my adult life without my mom, and it still hurts today. And to fast forward 2 years ago, I lost my younger sister in a similar fashion. Just work and just eat just anything that comes to you. And we have to learn is to teach our older generation that you can enjoy food preparing a healthier way. You still can have fried chicken, but just not frying it in all the oil. You can put it in the air fryer, you can put it in the oven. And the other thing, diabetes is one of the biggest things that is in the Black community. And most of it is diet related, because we eat too much sugary carbohydrate stuff. And then when they flip that, they're like, okay, carbs is bad. No, it's not. You just need to be educated on the good things and the things that are not so good. And just having more vegetables on your plate. I grew up in Jamaica, and like when it's Sunday, they cook rice and peas, and on the plate of rice and peas, and the vegetables like, where is it? So you're just finding the balance, really. And that is really what I teach people. I teach people, nutrition transformation and habits. I have them transform their habits. So nutrition education and habit transformation, because what you're going to do is transform one habit that is not serving you for one that is healthier.
Man, and that's so right there. And then my next question is COVID-19. We know that COVID-19 hit everywhere, and we know that the quarantine took place everywhere. And I know the quarantine affected a lot of people. They affected their mental health as well. When it came to the pandemic, COVID-19, how did you and your family handle that being quarantined like everyone else?
We're still in quarantine in London. We're still in quarantine in London. This is like our fourth lockdown in London. So I'm being honest with you. When it first happened, it was a culture shock. It was everything shock, because I'm used to going out doing what I like when I want to, how I want to. And for the first 3-4 weeks, it was a real change. It was almost, because initially, to be honest with you, the way it was put across, I was kind of scared to go outside, thinking that I'll be outside and get arrested or something, because it just seems so scary and crazy. But, as time goes on, I kind of check myself and just reevaluate how I handled and things. So with the resilience coming, what can I control? I control the controllables. So I can control the time I get up. I can control what I listen to. I don't watch television. I don't know what's happening in the news. I really don't. And when I know somebody tells me or an alert pops up on my phone, so I control the controllables. I still keep my schedule. I just adjust it. So initially, I would just allow myself to wake up whenever. And when I did that, I found out that I wasn't productive, and I just feel kind of like, So I still do my 5 a.m. wake up, do my cardio, have my breakfast. I love me a cold shower. You should try a cold shower. That thing's, it revives you. And then I keep my schedule, and I still have my online clients. I am an online coach, so I still coach people online. And just basically, you schedule everything. My workout is scheduled in my diary. So there's an alert that comes up even from today that tells me I get up, I do my cardio at this time. And the best way to do that is just basically have a reoccurring time that you do the same thing. Because habits, you have to keep them, they need action. Action you do every day becomes a habit, becomes a lifestyle. And the other problem that a lot of people face is just making the goals too huge. They turn their goals into dreams. There's a difference between a dream and a goal. A dream is huge. The goal helps you to get to the dream. And if you make the dream into the goal, then what's happened, you're going to be so overwhelmed and you don't do it. And even if you do it, what happened at the end of that, you're so exhausted. You're like, I ain't doing this again. And this is where the mistake has happened, because we speak to people who lose weight and put it back on. It's basically, rather than say, I want to be healthier and be fitter, they say, I want to lose 50 pounds in 6 weeks. That's not real. And the problem with that is, if you're already eating in a bad deficit, you're not going to lose weight when you stop eating 3 meals a day and go to 1 meal, and most of it is just broccoli and water.
Yes, I know. So glad you brought that up. I know the shortcut way. Everybody wants the cheap way. You know, you have different products out there that feel like, oh, as long as I take this product and all this weight come off, I'm good. What would you say to a person who wants to take the shortcut way instead of just putting in the work, grinding, and doing it the old-fashioned way and just changing what you eat and working out?
If you want to do it the shortcut way, then you will always forever doing it over again, because it's like they say, a moment on the hips, a lifetime on the hips, because most of the shortcut way, people go and they Google, because at the end of the day, what I do for people, they're like, why am I paying you X amount when I can Google it? But the difference in what I do is that I tailor it to you. I educate you so you understand the difference between protein, carbohydrates, good fat, fiber, the benefit of drinking water. There's so many people out there that don't drink water. So if you want to take the shortcut, I've actually worked with clients that actually eating only 2 meals a day that consists of like simple carbs of like crackers and broccoli, and they expect to lose weight. You're not going to lose weight. It's like all those fad diets that you have, that say to you, you can eat anything that you like. Just, you can have a bowl of fruits for breakfast because it's all flexible diet and everything. And the body is nutrient deficient. And then they have all these cravings. Cravings are a sign of the body being deficient of something. So oftentimes you find the people who want to do the shortcut, they are deficient in a lot of nutrient, vitamin, minerals, and they're probably diabetic as well, and they're already not eating properly prior to starting this crash diet. Then it makes the situation worse. So it's best to pay someone to coach you, is someone who's been through there, someone who's going to keep you at an accountability higher than you keep yourself. Because it's really unfortunate, a lot of us has no accountability and high standards for our health and well-being. We have standards for the big house, the big car, the expensive holiday, and then you take pictures from here to there and say, but I want to, but it's so hard. Like, you can change your car, you can't change you. So how hard it is and how expensive it is for your family to stood by your grave is a choice, the short term, because all you're doing is creating more illness in your body when you do that. And, I've had consultation where someone will say to me, the doctor says to me, they can't do surgery because they're scared that I'll die. And then when I told them what my prices are to work with me, for me to teach you, you have access to me on a daily basis. I'll call you or message you or make sure that you're okay. I'll say to you, like, this is what you need to do and everything else. Basically, like, I'm living with you. You said, you know what, that's too expensive.
Yeah, and they'll go pay all that money for the surgery, but they have no ifs and buts about it. But like I said, we in your line of work, like, they make up all that's too expensive. So everybody say, okay, you spend all this money for surgery, but won't use the money to invest in yourself, get with someone like yourself that's already in that arena to make things happen. It's just way how people. Yeah, it don't. It really don't. And it really don't. And my next question on that, what was the best advice you ever received?
Oh, I'm thinking that question, I saw that, I was like, that's a good question. What's the best advice I've ever received? The best advice I've ever received. I'm trying to think. Because the reason why I say I'm trying to think, because what I've always been given is the opposite. It's like, so what's the best advice I've ever been given? Wow. That one stopped me, to be honest, because normally what I receive is criticism. The one I normally get, that my confidence is intimidating. That's what I get. So so the best advice, I think the best advice is I would be given would be for my mom, and my mom is always saying that you can be anything you want to be.
Hey, that's good advice right there.
Yeah, for my mom, because my mom, although she had 6 of us, she always wanted better than she had for herself. She said, "You see what I'm going through. I want the best for you." And bless her soul, she's not here this year, but 25 years since she's passed, and she did well. We still kept the promise that we gave to her. And she said she didn't want any of us to be teenage parents, and there never was. So
and that's what's up right there. So that is the best advice you ever received right there.
Yeah.
And then the next question is, what is your best achievement in coaching as a PT?
My best achievement as a PT online coach is that this lady I had, and I first met her in the gym, and she's now one of my online clients, and like one of my success stories. She's actually featured on my Instagram page quite a few times. She is someone I met in the gym and just had a conversation where she was on the floor in the corner doing her thing. And by the time I said hello, she was like, I know, I don't want to know. I know I'm fat. I don't, the doctors told me. And I'm like, I didn't come over to say anything. I just, saying hello. And I just basically had conversation with her every time I see her, just in general. And, I offered her a training session. Whenever she's ready, she could contact me. And, she contacted me just after Christmas in 2019, and she became a client of mine because I was in the gym floor at the time, and just before COVID hit. And initially she was reluctant to come online, and she was like, I don't think it's going to work for me. And to fast forward now, she's gone from a size 20 to a size 16. Like, she had knee problems before. She no longer have knee problems. Her flexibility has increased. And most importantly, I had a message from her just before her retirement. So she had to retire because of COVID. Her workplace was letting people go, and best option for her was retirement. And, I asked her recently and someone says to her, that she lost weight and she felt like a supermodel. She just want to get on the floor and do the mountain climbers that she hates. And then I said to her, what was the moment that switched? And she said she did not want to be one of those people that retired and don't enjoy their entire retirement because they drop dead in a year or two. And she's been the best, healthiest weight she's ever been in her life. And so much so that her mother passed away late November last year. And she sent me a message to say her mom passed away. And in the end of that message, she goes, I've put in too much work. I still want to train. And she will actually got dressed in her clothes to go out after training to sort out her mom's funeral arrangement. And she continued up until this very day. So that is one of my best success. And I've been a first PT coach she's ever had.
And that's what's up. Congratulations to her for being disciplined, being dedicated. So that lets you know that there is no excuses in life.
There's no excuse. There is no excuse in life, baby, and it's never too late. It's never too late. And the most important thing is, like, she opened her mind to be coachable. She opened her mind to transform and changing the habits that wasn't working for her. And it didn't happen overnight, but I was patient. I met her where she was. The first step is saying, okay, I need help. Because the thing is, in order to achieve a goal, it's only achievable if you decide that you need it, because you will not achieve a goal if you're guilt into it. So that's where it is, and you have to get up each day. And I use the 3 W's. The 3 W's, like, what do I need to achieve today? Who can help me to achieve it? and when do I want to achieve it by? So if you ask yourself the 3 W's each day, what do I need to accomplish today? Who can help me? When do I need it by? Because you have to have a destination in order to get there. So one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people make is saying that rather than saying, I want to be healthier and feeling more energized. And the byproduct is that you lose some weight. You've never eaten healthy before. It's going to be a challenge, and you basically just want to cut everything out of your life and want it to be done in 6 weeks. Remember, where you are didn't happen in 6 weeks. It's like having a baby. A baby wasn't made in 6 weeks. It was made in 9 months. So it's like having a baby. Decide, in 9 days after the baby, you want your body back. It's not going to happen. It's a process.
True. That's true. And to those who's listening, those who's going to listen in the future, trusting the process is key. Have fun with the process. So just that leads up to the next question. So you answered the next question I will ask you. So you do get gratification from helping your clients. And when you help that client reach their goal, what does that do for you?
That is the biggest achievement for me, to teach someone, to give them the tools of nutrition education to know, because that's the biggest thing. Exercise is minimal. You can do exercise anywhere, anytime. It's knowing the nutrition, like every food, knowing your macronutrients, the main macronutrients of like protein, carbohydrates, fiber, knowing that you can have a glass of wine or brandy or whatever you have because you have the knowledge and know every time you put the piece of food in your mouth, what value is adding. It's about when you're eating, thinking about what value is it adding to my life.
And that's it. Like I said, so trusting the process, being more disciplined, and like I said, just being more encouraged when it comes to making this transformation for your body. And my next question is meal prepping. How does your meal prepping go about, and how do you also do meal prepping for your clients as well?
I don't do meal preps for my clients, because how I work, because you will not be successful at being in a healthy lifestyle to eat healthy if you're being told what to eat. Okay. So it's about education of how food preparation is. Like I said, I have fried chicken still, but I don't put my fried chicken in the oil. I put it in the air fryer. Yeah. I still have rice and peas occasionally, but I don't have the pyramid I grew up with. Yeah, I have a fist. So whenever you're having carbohydrates, think of carbohydrates as a fistful, and everything else that you protein and your vegetables follow. If you just think of carbohydrates as a fistful, you're good. You still can have a burger here and there. You don't have, it's literally, you can have, as long as you educate yourself and understand the value of what the food is going to add to your life when you put it in your mouth, then you're good. So that's the best thing, because once they're with me for up to 12 months, okay, it takes up to 12 months to actually get this knowledge, and they go off, they can go out into life, and they also can, teach it to their families. So that's how. So the only time I will give a meal plan specifically to someone, unless they are really, not following the guide, and after a period of time, I need to show them, like, take the reins and say, here is what I'm going to say for you to eat, for them to see the change, what can happen in the body. Because the first thing that's going to happen is how you feel. Whenever you start putting different things in your body, is how you feel. Because one of the common things I get from most of my clients, and I used to be that person, is that sweet craves. Oh, how do I get rid of my crave? And I said, crave is like a headache. A headache is just the symptoms of the problem. It is not actually the problem. It's just a symptom. So whenever you have cravings, it's because the body is lacking in nutrients. Like, people who say I crave chocolate. That means you're lacking in magnesium. You probably get lots of cramps. If you're a female, when it comes to that time of the month, your cramp will triple. If you're someone who craves lots of fruits, sweet type of fruits, that means your vitamins and your minerals are low. If you're someone who craves sweets to crunch on, the likelihood that you're dehydrated, because whenever you crunch the sweets, it's actually giving you full hydration, because you create more saliva. So I teach my clients is like, you're eating for are you eating for your emotion or you're eating for energy? Which one is it? Because there's two type of hunger. There's physical hunger and there's emotional hunger. So physical hunger comes upon you slowly. So I'm starting to feel a little bit hungry. Yeah, the emotional hunger comes in you really quickly, and 9 out of 10 times you crave the cakes, the sweets, that kind of stuff, and then you finish eating and you're still feeling empty, and then you have that emotional guilt about the food. A physical hunger, now you have a tasteful variety of food. So it's learning to be self-aware and identify what, and most time what happens is a trigger. What is the trigger? So people who say they're emotional eaters, who I once was, is like, did you receive a text message that, makes you feel a certain way? So food diary is a very important thing. You keep a food diary and you write down there what mood were you in when you felt for what you felt to eat. And then the other thing would be situational stress, which is emotional. Like COVID, people feel restricted in going out. So basically, people are saying now, COVID is making me fat. Now, COVID doesn't make you fat. It just heightens the stress that you're already feeling. So you had a bad relationship with food prior to now, and COVID just intensify that, because you can't go anywhere, but you can go to the supermarket, right? So
Right.
what do? I called my friend and goes, let's go to the supermarket. They can't lock us up because we're shopping for food. But you don't really need food.
Hmm. And I know that really makes sense. And I know when people bored, they eat.
You're
Like,
not bored. You're not bored. You actually avoiding an emotion.
hmm.
It's avoidance. So it's something. People say when they're bored, it's something. So if you say you're bored and you eat, that's loneliness.
That's deep right there. That really
Yeah.
is deep right there to look at it.
You
Never thought about it that way. That's very interesting.
yeah,
I thought,
your food is your mood.
hmm,
So you will find people who eat lots of junky food in a foul mood all the time.
hmm.
Because serotonin, which create the happy hormone, comes 95% of it comes from your gut.
Oh, so that's why people say you are what you eat.
You are what you eat. Your food is your mood. So if you're eating crappy food, your gut cannot give you the happy hormones because your body is undernourished.
Ah, that makes sense. I never looked at it. I hear people say it all the time, like you are what you eat, and then just that really makes a lot of sense. You're okay,
Yeah.
awesome, very unique. That's very unique. That's very unique. And the next question is, with your client, how many days do you work out?
I used to work out 6 days, now it's 5. So I have 2 rest days because rest is very important. It's cut down that way because now as a competitive athlete, my body needs time to rest and recuperate because I lift pretty heavy when the gym was open. So, when you lift very heavy, you need to give the body time to rest and recuperate and repair. So I train 5 days a week, weight training with a split. I do back on the Monday, with biceps, and I do chest and shoulders and triceps on a Tuesday, and Wednesday's leg day, and I repeat the same action Thursday and Friday, and Saturday and Sunday I rest. But I do cardio 6 days a week, twice.
Awesome. And I noticed I seen a video on your Instagram account. You was doing workouts with your body, without the weights.
Yeah.
How did that all come about too? Because I didn't never see that there. I just see people use weights, but you actually using your own body as the weight.
You can use your body to build your body. Yeah, but one of the craziest things, that is how I started. I only discovered weights about 9 years ago, literally.
Hmm.
I discovered lifting weights 9 years ago. Prior to that, everything I did was body weight. So if you look at my on my Facebook page, like pictures of myself, like 12, 13 years ago, all of that was from this body weight. But the other thing is just like, it's when people believe they need to lift something else to build their body. But you can use your body to build your body. But then the other hand, I experience a lot of, is people saying, oh, do you know how heavy I am? I can't hold myself in a plank. And oftentimes, my client says to me, Julia, when you're not with me, you're in my head. That's the biggest thing I get told by my clients. They go, whenever I'm going to do something that I'm not supposed to do, I can hear you in my head. I get videos from my client goes, I didn't want to work out today, but I could hear you in my head, so I work. That you don't only train me physically, you train me mentally. Because if I only train you physically, then you're always going to be where you started. It's all it starts here. Wherever the mind can conceive, the body will receive it. But you have to be open to know that you need to open the mind, because once the mind tells the body to do something, because believe it or not, people find it difficult for me, and they go, how do you do it every day? Like, it's easy for you. No, it's not. At least 3 days a week, I feel like not doing anything. But then because my why, my goal, my why is to be here at... Hello? What happened?
Oh, technical difficulties. I'm back. It just froze up. But getting back to it, it was getting good stuff. You said lifting your body. And I said that was my first time I was seeing that, because we've been programmed to, okay, just buy weights. You buy weights, you'll get the results, but never seeing where you start lifting your own body to get results. And that's very unique.
Because if you can't lift your body, who's supposed to lift you?
Makes sense. Yeah. So let me ask you that one too. If you had to hold yourself up in the plane for a good while, does that mean that's all very good that you can hold yourself up for a certain amount of time when you're doing the plane?
That is a whole body workout. You're working your core, you're working your shoulders, you're working your quads. That's a full body workout. And if you have back problems, that's one of the best exercises to strengthen your core.
And also, because I know my main goal is to feel better about myself, be energetic, be more alert, just overall feeling good about the physical body. I tell anybody, if you ever go to the mall, you're not going to see a fat mannequin. You always going to see a mannequin that's slim down, in shape, and just take that for motivation. That's just my take on how I look at it. Because I know at one time they said, love yourself, big is beautiful, but they don't understand the health risk behind being out of shape, because the media glorify being big and beautiful is it, but don't realize the health issues behind being big.
The thing is, what people fail to understand is, like, they taking it from the olden days when people who had more, like rich, it's a sign of richness, but it was a sign of the wrong rich. Because those people oftentimes doesn't live a long life because they weren't healthy, because they were eating unhealthy. So when you feed in all of those things and doing what you're doing, you're basically feeding type 2 diabetes, heart attack, stroke. That's all those things that you're feeding. So you have to decide, is that what you really want to feel? And it doesn't mean that everyone has to be very small, as long as you're healthy, that there's something called the basal metabolic rate. And there's so many people who are eating under that basal metabolic rate. And oftentimes when I say that to clients, they go, oh yeah, the BMI. No, not your body mass index. The basal metabolic rate, basal, BASAL, metabolic rate, is the amount of calories that each individual need to consume just to be alive. And that means that if you're eating under that caloric deficit, your body is undernourished. And oftentimes, this is the reason why people have cravings. And that's the other thing I get asked about, like, what about intermittent fasting and all those stuff? So if you're already under caloric deficit and you go on to intermittent fasting, don't have any nutritional education, then because your body is already in that starvation mode. Because what happened is, like, When you're not eating enough food to feed your body stores the food like it's a drought. And that's what creates fat. There's two ways to put on weight. There is one way you overeat, so the excess calorie turns into fat. And the other way is that if you undereat, then your body goes into storage because it's thinking, oh my God, you're in storage, you're not feeding me. So what happens now? You trained your mind never to recognize what you got when you're hungry. So you can go all day not feeling hungry, but then when you do consume something, it is something of the wrong density because the sugar infused because you want to get that energy really quick, and that repetition over time, that is what causes you to be overweight. And then let's take it back the other way. Let's go and lose weight for the new year. Let me go and Google some random diets on Google that the person have never spoken to you in your life, don't know who you are, don't know what your current diet situation is, and then you cut out more carbs and then create a vicious circle. So this person is in the gym, they've lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks, and they keel over on the phone and go, oh, if I didn't go to the gym, this wouldn't happen. But the underlying problem is there before you went to the gym. So that's why it's so important to have education in nutrition.
And that stuff is very important. And like I said, just from overall look, that there is work to implement when it comes to taking care of our body. Just okay, go to the gym, drink water, and that's it. But never really educate ourselves when it comes to the proper nourishment that we need for our bodies in order to fulfill the will of God for our lives. And I'm thankful for just sharing great information to us so that we can apply to our own lives to be enlightened, because the Bible said, my people struggle lack of knowledge are rejected, and bring that knowledge to the forefront and say, hey, looking at myself, hey, I could do better. And after all this stuff I thought I was doing right. But now if you look at it, okay, I was doing this stuff wrong, but to be able to make things right, to see the results that we expect. Because I know first of the year, everybody gets so excited by New Year's. Oh, New Year's resolution, I'm going to the gym, doing this, making these emotional decisions, but then fall off through the process. When it comes to that, I know dealing with working with clients. Have you ever had clients just come to you first of the year and say, I'm ready to lose weight? How do you approach them when they come with their New Year's resolution to be able to lose weight?
It's the thing, like I always say to my client, let's reword that. Let's call it success goals. Yeah. Because if you're resolving the same problem from 1999 in 2021, it's not a resolution. The word resolution means that to resolve. You haven't resolved that. Yeah. So, like again, I said, it brings us back to, people make their goals too big. They turn their dream into the goal. So the goal is to help you to get to the dream. The dream for me is to have a long life that I could be here until I'm 100 years old to see my grandchildren and jump onto a plane if I choose to. So the goal that's going to get me there is me choosing to eat healthy every day, move my body every day. And it's the 80-20 rule. 80% nutrition, 20% movements, and be consistent with it. So rather than saying I'm going on a diet, say I'm having a lifestyle change. And it's not about eliminating. The reason people see getting healthier as a struggle is because they see as a like a fad rather than to see as a lifestyle. So, it's about making, the same way you would not go into the shop and buy a certain type of car because it's not of high quality. That's how you have to look at feeding your body. And the reason why there's a resolution and they make the goal so big that overwhelming that literally they stop eating carbs, they throw everything out, they're doing hours and hours of working out. Working out is not the issue. Is what you're eating is the issue. And why do we use the term that we're treating ourselves? The problem is if you're educated with food and have a better relationship with food, you would not say I'm treating myself with food that is feeding diabetes, heart attack, and stroke. My idea of treating myself is to buy some shoes, buy a new dress. Yeah. So, but when you say you're treating yourself, are you treating yourself for a for short-term happiness or long-term happiness? That's what you have to think about. So the short-term happiness is the donut. The long-term happiness for me is a nice holiday or a nice pair of shoes or a handbag. And don't even buy me no dumbbells. Don't tell me you're going to buy me no dumbbells, because I don't need dumbbells, because I can use my body to build my body. So basically, it's making micro goals. And it takes you back to the 3 W's. What do I want to accomplish today? Who can help me? When do I want it by? Because oftentimes when people come to me, I want to lose some weight all over. Okay. And I'm going on holiday in May. I want to lose 50 pounds. Okay. That scares me. It should scare you. Okay. What do you eat normally? And when they write it down, you're like, okay. Yeah, but they say this is bad. No, it's not. So it's a challenge to take them from the dream and break it down into the goal. And it's wanting it fast, the shortcut, you know, but remembering that they've been there before. But then again, oftentimes it's the mask for what is deeper. So I always dig deeper. So that's why I said to my clients always says to me, when you're not with me, Julia, you're in my head, Scott, because I want you to be aware of why at 12 o'clock in the night, when you've had your dinner, that when everybody is in bed, you woke out of bed, go into the freezer and feel to eat a tub of ice cream. What emotion are you covering? What are you avoiding? What trauma is it that caused you to feel that you should treat yourself badly? You're already in a space where the doctor says to you, I cannot do surgery on you because I'm scared you'll die on the table. But then you go home and you come out of bed and you go into the freezer and you pick up that ice cream. What is it that is happened to you emotionally that make you feel that you do not deserve to have the best life you can possibly live?
And that's some deep stuff. And I love how you get your clients to re-examine themselves in order to get a better enlightenment when it comes to life. And I love that, really go back to self. You go to one of these AAA meetings, the first thing they're gonna get you to admit you have a problem. So the first thing we have to do, admit, okay, there's a problem, admit to that problem. Okay, now admit to the problem. Okay, now I can move forward. Is that correct, right?
That's correct. You have to know you have a problem in order for the problem to be addressed. And that's the reason why, for example, when someone comes and says to me, I want to lose the weight because of my children, I want to be here for my children, this happened and that happened, that's kind of like, okay, but it has to be a deeper why. The why has to be deeper, because when I dig deep, when I ask questions that are deep, like I says to someone in like, what would that mean for you to lose that 10 pounds? I just want to be healthier, yeah, but what emotion will that evoke for you? Because currently the state that you're in is evoking some emotion that you don't like. So what emotion do you want to change for the one that is currently making you treat yourself badly? And it's always a block. So it's not that people are not motivated to work. Motivation is not the problem. It's the mental block, the emotional block, the trauma that's happened to them in some way or another that they masking, and they don't. Some people are aware that they're masking it, but they don't want to open it. Like, I'll give you a classic example. I know I should have a grief counseling because I lost my sister and I lost my mom. But in some way, I still don't want to open all of that can of worms. But I'm fully aware. The difference is I'm aware. But some people are not.
Man, that sums it up right there. Be real. The whole old program, the podcast, be real with yourself, acknowledge where you at, and move forward. Because what he does, we repeat the same thing over again. I remember the great Dr. Miles Monroe said that every year we should get better every year.
Yeah.
And now as a people, we repeat this, like you said, we get so excited about the first of the year, but we repeat the same cycle we did in 2020, going back to repeat the same thing in the first part of 2021 with not making all these emotional decisions, but then go right back to where we at, and then want to get mad at everybody else. But the thing is, you need to get mad at yourself.
Exactly, because the thing is, the thing is, like, a lot of us, and I used to be guilty of that, don't write the goals down. We just talk about it. And
Yeah, we
research has
do.
shown that when you keep talking about your goals, something in your mind tricks you to think you actually achieve it. So the best way to achieve a goal is to write it down. And if you've tried to achieve this goal before and fail, you best to have somebody who's been there before, who knows what the obstacles are going to be, who can hold you to, and it boils that to accountability, holding you to a higher standard than you hold yourself. Because a lot of us don't hold ourselves in a high standard. We don't think. You have to believe you deserve to be healthier. You have to believe you deserve to be here to see your grandchildren. You have to believe you deserve to have the best life you can possibly have, because you only have one chance at it.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. And I know we're about to get it wind it up here. And my last and final question is legacy. I ask this to the guests all the time here on the podcast. The Proverbs talks about a good name. And at the end of the day, Julie, after it's all said and done, how do you want everybody to see your legacy in the world of fitness?
In the world of fitness, I want my legacy to be that she inspired me in every single way to be my best self. Be like, she inspired me to know that I can do it. I did a live with a friend of mine, and I got some feedback, and someone says to me, the way you break it down, a baby could understand. I simplify it. I don't use the jargon. So my legacy, I would love it to be that when someone see my children and grandchildren, say, because of your mother, I took my life in my hand, and the reason why I'm here to be standing at my son's wedding or whatever it is. And she was someone who was relentless in making sure that women value themselves and value their health, because by doing so, she makes sure that the children has the best legacy they could have by being able to enjoy them being here rather than them not being here standing by the graveside. Because my legacy, my legacy for that reason is because I didn't want to be like my mom. Because my mom passed away at 44, and I had the fear. I literally, because I am 48 years old. I'll be 49 this year, and I had the fear of thinking to my gosh, am I going to be 40? Is something going to happen to me? And then I realized I had a choice. I have control by changing the core belief of how I eat and how I take care of myself. So I want someone to say that because of your mom, I know that I can eat the food I like in a better way and live my best life ever.
And that's what's up. And like I said, it looked great for your age. I thought you was in your 30s.
No, my daughter will be 24 this Friday. My son.
Okay, like I said, you in your 30s, but hey, take care of yourself, looking good, and that's surely a blessing.
I take that.
So, do you have any final remarks for the listening audience? How can they get in contact with you? Just to get advice, also to become a client. So, any final remarks?
So, you find me online. I'm on Instagram, Body Inventor Fitness. So it's Body Inventor Fitness on Instagram. On Facebook is Julia Hunter. And you can drop me an email at julia@bodyinventor.co.uk. But mostly I'm on Instagram, so Body Inventor Fitness. I am an online coach. So wherever you are in the world, I can help you. My passion is to help you know that you can. And I'm patient. I have the patience because my goal is to make sure that I will be the last health and fitness coach that you will have, that you will understand how to live a healthy lifestyle. It will not be a diet anymore. It will be a lifestyle.
And that sums it up right there. So eliminate the word diet, and it's life change. So here on today, remember, life change. Is this your time to make the change you want for your life? Don't put off tomorrow what you can do today. And trust the process. And trust the process.
And tomorrow never come, because most importantly now, this pandemic, if this any time is now, it's time for you to take hold of your health, because even the people who think they're eating pretty healthy sometimes are not. Because I had a few friends over recently, and it's surprising to them, they were under the caloric deficit, which means that if your body is undernourished, is the same as if your body is overweight. So we I'm on Instagram. You can click the application form, fill it out. The consultation is free, and go follow me on Instagram, Body Inventor Fitness.
Mm-hmm. And that's it right there. So, Julia, I thank you once again for the opportunity to be here, to interview you here on my podcast. Truly been an honor, truly been a blessing as well. And I know the replay will be up, of course, for those to be able to go back and check it out. To get some information, to get some tips, get some things that could resonate in their spirit, and say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna make things happen. So I do appreciate you once again.
I appreciate you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Awesome. And we'll see y'all next time here on Walking This Way's Impact Voice. I'm your host, Furman Jackson Jr., broadcasting live from my new hometown of Arlington, Texas. See y'all next time. Have a great day. Great evening in the UK, because we know it's 1 o'clock here in the States. So we'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Thank you.
You're welcome.